Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. AMC Stock having a very strong day. It's pretty volatile though. AMC at the time of recording this video is up about 3.5%. When I was preparing this video, getting things ready, the stock was up almost 5%. So it's pretty dang volatile. And in a weird way, it seems like as the S&P is falling, AMC is doing better. When the S&P is starting to go higher, kind of these intraday moves, AMC stock is starting to actually make its way lower. So you are seeing some of that discorrelation to the broader markets today, which is interesting given the markets probably are going to fall, long story short. So let's get into all of this information, everything you need to know on AMC stock here on the day today. A massive outperformance compared to a lot of your other stocks likely in your portfolio. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Let's get straight into it, guys, and see AMC stock is up almost 4% now at the time of recording this video. It's very, very volatile. Now, we don't have any specific news, more or less, that is causing this move today, which I think makes it a little bit of a stronger move and kind of tells you something, right? We've talked about this before, and I'll probably say it again, and I'm going to say it again right now. Looks like something's going on under the surface. It looks like someone might know something in regards to AMC. That's at least kind of what it looks like to me. Okay, so the stock is now up almost 4.5%. You're seeing a very bullish day today. But when you look at things like the option activity, it is increasingly negative. You've seen 18 orders today totaling $19.15 million with a positive order value of 3%. Like, there's nothing good to speak of as far as the option activity is confirmed. Now, you could make the point that you do have some FTDs that come due today of about 12.5 million. Now, probably what is happening is someone knows AMC is going to have good earnings, right? The expectations for earnings is a loss of about 4 cents per share. If AMC, this is a big if, I know, if AMC could come out and actually have a positive EPS, that would be the first time since COVID started. That would be essentially AMC getting to a place of at least free cash flow on an EPS adjusted basis. So that would be very positive, and that would give you a huge rally. So it wouldn't surprise me, again, this is not necessarily the most likely outcome, but it wouldn't surprise me if someone got tipped off that AMC is going to have good earnings, and that's why the stock is doing well today. I don't think this is shorts covering. I don't think it's anything of that nature. If anything, it would be due to the FTDs. Now, again, there's about 12.5 million FTDs that come due today. This is a rolling cumulative number. So, 12.5 million FTDs, you could see some of them covered, here anytime, really. Now, for not tomorrow, we don't have any FTDs that come due tomorrow, but the day after, on Wednesday, you're going to see the highest amount of FTDs in this whole cycle that are coming due, plus per the T plus 35 settlement day, and that is about 14.6 million, and that will come due on August 9th. And then even the next day, you have another 12.5 million, 13 million the day after that. Then you fall to 11.6 million. Then you rise to 14 million. Then you go to 13 million. Then you're at 12.5 million again. So your number really doesn't fall off of a cliff or anything of the likes for a very long time here. But I find this interesting with the FTD situation. The day AMC reports earnings, there's actually no FTDs that need to be closed out of per the T plus 35 settlement date, and that is tomorrow. AMC reports earnings in after hours. But Wednesday, when you actually get the move from earnings, well, that's when you're going to have your record high FTDs that need to be closed out of. So it's a little bit interesting. I wouldn't draw any conclusions. If you want to put on your tinfoil hat, maybe there's a reason for that. Because obviously hedge funds and institutions, they're dumb in a lot of areas, but I'm sure they understand when their FTDs need to be covered out and how many of them, right? So I do think that makes it quite interesting heading into AMC's earnings coming tomorrow. Now, another big story that I think might have an effect on AMC today is just simply some of the very bullish 13F filings that we have seen come out of hedge funds and institutional investors as of right now. But really the banks have been the big story. We've talked about this before, and I think it's very important. Like the Bank of Montreal increased their call position by 4,000%, owning 14.5 million shares worth of calls, and they decreased their put position by 99% or 98.5%. Now they only own exposure to 12 million AMC shares on a synthetic short basis. So they basically have no downside hedge, and they're balls to the walls leveraged in AMC calls. They also increased their share position by 7,000%, now owning about 2 million shares of AMC. Things of these nature look pretty good heading into AMC's earnings, as well as Barclays. They sold out of their entire put position. They sold out a little bit of their call position as well, about 22.5%, still owning almost 6 million shares worth of calls, and increased their share position by about 52%. So even if you look at Barclays, sold out of their downside exposure, bought the dip like crazy as far as shares, and continue to hold a multi-million-dollar call leverage position. So when I look at these things, the trend is clear. Sell out of your puts, add to your shares, and add to your calls. And just the numbers that you're seeing here are huge. Okay, so another pretty good sign that you might have some good earnings. Now, something that I will be watching throughout the rest of this week very closely is the Stock Tracker data. Now, I want to see how this week's option chain really does start to populate. And what I mean by that is you have earnings coming tomorrow and after hours. I want to see, do people, start to buy some of the calls? Is there an increase of option activity? I think that will be very important because there's not as many options as you're typically used to. On the put side, you got about 300,000 puts total for this week. And on the call side, you have about 160,000 calls, almost 170,000 calls. Very low compared to what we're used to. So if you get 100,000 calls or puts heading onto the option chain, that's going to be quite a bit of hedging market makers have to go out and do on the broader market. So do keep that in mind. Now, as far as the earnings calendar, what we're going to have today and after hours, some interesting stocks that could move quite a bit. You got Palantir, Lucid, Skyworks, Chegg, Paramount, Shockwave, Five9, Ring Central, and Beyond Meat. Now, tomorrow pre-market, this is going to be the big earnings for this week as far as the broader markets. I guess there's two of them. It's UPS. If UPS has bad earnings, that's not going to be good for the broader markets. It's not going to be a good sign for the state of the consumer and the economy. So watch that. If you're a broad market kind of trader, if you trade all kinds of things, you definitely want to watch that to see what kind of effect that has and what these earnings say about the state of the consumer again. And then you're going to have Disney on Wednesday. That's more kind of leisure, travel, hospitality. And then you do have implications for streamers like Disney Plus obviously does. So watch those, keep those in mind, but you do have some earnings that could be potentially big runners this week. So if you guys want to come trade some of these earnings with us live in real time every single day, hit that link down below in the description of this video. When you sign up over there, send me a quick message. We will get you all signed up. So there is that as far as the earnings calendar. Now, the economic calendar, I think this is very important for everyone to have on their radar, whether you're someone just waiting for the MOAS and that's all you're invested in, or you are someone that does trade and invest in other things as well. Pull this up, keep this on your desk, keep this on your phone, you're at work, it doesn't even matter. It's very simple to look at. If you see the markets moving big, up or down, definitely, pay attention to the economic calendar, right? And really, we're not going to have much for Monday and Tuesday. You want to watch your bond auctions, like I said in the video yesterday. If the bond auctions come in with higher yields, well, that's not necessarily good. It means people don't really want to buy the bonds. Now, if bond yields start to fall, that means investors are getting a little bit fearful. Now, on Thursday, you're going to get your CPI report, and this is going to be the big report for this week. This is what could give you a big up or down day, and we're not expecting any changes on any of the month-over-month readings or the core inflation rate year over year. We're expecting all of it to stay the same as last month. But your headline inflation rate year over year is expected to come in at 3.3%. Last month's reading was 3%. Everyone loved 3% year over year. Well, now those base effects are going to start wearing off. And with that being said, it's going to make your year over year numbers start to go up a little bit. Best case scenario, this thing comes in about 3.1%, even 3.2%. That would be better than not. If we come in at 3.3%, S&P is probably going to fall 0.5% to 1%. If we come in higher than 3.5%, S&P, NASDAQ probably going to fall about 2%. So these could be big catalysts. Like what we're seeing today, though, as the markets have been falling, AMC stock has actually been going higher. So, I mean, I don't know how long this continues, but if it does continue, that could mean some pretty big upside for AMC if the markets do kind of throw up this week. Now, as far as that, you're also going to have on Friday, you're going to have PPI month over month for the month of July. You're expecting that to increase to 0.2% from 0.1%. And the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey, expecting that at 71, which would be a very strong reading, down a little bit from last month. But, I mean, we were seeing this number at like 55 3 months ago. So things have definitely gotten a little bit better for the consumer, and that has fed into a lot of this rally that we have seen over the past 3 months. So just watch to see if these data points do kind of move the markets throughout the rest of this week as investors do position for this. Again, some of that money's flown into AMC today. So I'm just trying to make some scenarios that make sense to why the stock is higher. If you wanted to boil it down, probably because AMC is going to have good earnings. It's possible, although I don't think it's very likely. It's possible AMC does cancel this court proceeding. They do cancel the reverse split. They say, hey, we don't want this division. We'll raise capital some other way. And that's your best case scenario. That is your scenario in which all the bulls kind of win, right? There's a scenario if the courts go through with this reverse split, then AMC raised billions of dollars of capital in the very short term. The following days after that announcement, it would probably be negative, but the following weeks later would probably be positive. On the other hand, if the courts don't let this go through, that initial reaction is going to be positive, but over the next coming weeks and the markets realize like, hey, AMC might go bankrupt, that could turn out to be a negative factor as well. So that would be the best, not most likely, but that would be the best case scenario is if AMC just canceled the whole court proceeding. We'll ultimately see what they choose to do. Now, if we look at the Ortex data, you got a short score of 93, $766.16 million worth of short positions in AMC currently. Estimated short interest of free float at 30.1%. Free float out on loan 37.47%. Shares out on loan 193.5 million. Days to cover 8.2. 3-month cost of borrow fees 250%. Utilization at 81.57%. If we take a look at some of the cost of borrow fees, cost of borrow on Interactive Brokers is going higher yet again today, sitting at 220%. If we look at the cost of borrow fees over on Ortex, their estimates, you got 362% as the average. You have 380% as the max and 353% as the minimum. So things are definitely, quite high over here in the land of cost to borrow fees, guys. So there you have that. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at AMC as far as a technical basis, like I've said before, the charts look very good, guys. This is a super bullish setup. Like, you really couldn't get more bullish than this as far as the actual charts are concerned. It looks like you're in for a real pop-off top kind of rally, really coming at any time now. Okay, the MACD, very positive. RSI is looking good as well. Curling up, you're at 58, so there's room to make this upside move, but you're not, curling down. It's not showing weak strength. You've obviously been going up for the for the past couple of days now. So that is that. That's really kind of what's happening with AMC stock today. There's no company specific news, nothing else of that nature that is happening. So keep this in mind. Let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think is having the biggest effect on AMC stock today? Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.